This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Keira Bresnahan. We're at the Club 20 Fall Meetings in beautiful Grand Junction, Colorado. And I'm joined now by Representative DIANE MITSCH out of House District 26. You have Eagle and Routt counties in your district, both beautiful places to be.
Yes.
One of the things that comes up a lot is the high cost of insurance premiums in some of those areas. What do you think the answer to that is?
I first started looking at this issue in 2013 as soon as the exchange came up. I immediately saw those differences. They were pretty dramatic then, and they still are now. So I got a hold of the Division of Insurance, Commissioner Marguerite Salazar, and we started talking about things that we could do. And one of the ideas was to have, instead of 9 regions, which is what we have now, to have one risk rating region, on the premise that if you spread risk around, then premiums might go down. And insurance theory indeed talks to that. So this year, Representative Millie Hamner and Representative Bob Rankin and Senator Kerry Donovan all got together in a bill which I worked with them on and was a co-sponsor of, House Bill 1336. What that bill did was to direct the Division of Insurance to study what the impacts would be on our health insurance premiums if we had that one district. The data and the conclusions were different. The data showed quite clearly that if we had one risk rating region, premiums would go up for Denver, Colorado Springs, and Boulder by between about 4.5% and about 6%. For all the other regions, the 6 other regions, they would go down. Pueblo, Greeley, the Eastern Plains, Southern Colorado. And for our region, the Western region, they were predicted to go down by 22.3%. However, the Division of Insurance, looking at sort of the insurance market, was very concerned about several possible negative outcomes, which they thought overrode those premiums. And one of them would be that insurers would leave, that insurers wouldn't insure our area because our costs appear to be higher, and that we would have less choice. So we didn't entirely agree with that conclusion, and the Lieutenant Governor, Donald Lynn, who used to be the CEO of Kaiser, pulled together a stakeholder group. We had our first meeting 3 weeks ago, and we're going to continue to have meetings to see what we can do.
And you obviously have support from your rural areas, but I'm guessing with that increase in areas like Denver and Colorado Springs, you get a little pushback from there.
Yes, and the real issue is to be fair. The issue is to really look at this problem. One of the statistics, I'm a bit of a wonk, sorry. One of the statistical issues here is that all the cost estimates of what it, quote, costs, you and I think, oh, well, that must be what it costs the provider. That is not the data that we're looking at. The data we're looking at come from the all-payer data claims base. Those data come from the negotiated price between the insurer and the provider. So say in my district, the Amp Valley Medical Center or the Vail Valley Medical Center, they negotiate privately with the insurance carrier for a price for an MRI, for example. And so that's where the data come from. In 2017, we'll have the results that came out of a 2014 bill that created a healthcare cost commission. And then I think we'll have a much better sense of the actual costs. But I'm hoping we can come to some conclusions sooner than that.
Switching gears a little bit, ranching and farming are big in your communities, but there maybe are some obstacles to starting up new businesses there.
Very much so. In a bill that I've run 2 years, and this year it finally passed. I ran it in 15.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And in 16 was a bill to help remove some of those obstacles for beginning young farmers and ranchers. It could be the current generation of a multi-generational farming family, or it could be folks that want to enter into, say, organic farming or any kind of farming or ranching. And the biggest obstacle is land. Land is very expensive, and often farmers and ranchers lease out land. So what this bill does, and what now statute prescribes, is that an individual that leases land with one of these certified, and they're certified by the state, young farmers and ranchers, gets a tax deduction.
All right, and talking about lands, just real quickly, public lands and rivers, obviously big in your district too. What do we do to keep them public?
Well, one of the things we need to do is educate people about what public lands do and to celebrate public lands. So this year, I was the House co-prime sponsor on Senator Donovan's bill to create a Public Lands Day in Colorado, where we could educate and celebrate. The importance of public lands, both for a whole state and for our district, is really economic. I mean, obviously, there's a quality of life, and it's our soul, and we get renewed when we go out and experience our public lands. But the economic impact is critical. The #1 industry in our state is tourism.
Right.
By far and away, the #1 industry in Eagle County
People
and Routt County.
here.
They want to come here. But there's another piece that's often overlooked. When you look at the growth along I-25 in aerospace, in high-tech, in biotech, one of the reasons those companies have chosen to come to Colorado is because their employees and they can go recreate in our public lands.
Enjoy those benefits that we have.
So they're really, really important. Just so you know, in my district, Eagle County is 75% public lands. Routt County is almost 55% public lands. So educating people about the importance is really, really essential, especially now. There's a lot of pressure at the federal level to devolve the control of public lands to the states. The state of Colorado cannot manage public lands, doesn't have the money, and there are a whole bunch of other things around it too. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Representative
it was
DIANE
great.
MITSCH.
Thank you so
from
much.
District 26.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Charter Local Edition. I'm Keira Bresnahan.